Stop for a second. Just stop. Before you keep moving, before you scroll past this, before your mind jumps to the next thing on your list. Feel this moment. Right here. Right now. Because something around you is shifting, and it started before you even realized it, before you had words for it, before you could explain it to anyone. And yet, you already sense it. Not clearly. Not completely. But enough. Enough to pause. Enough to wonder. Enough to stay. Have you noticed that feeling lately, like something is happening just beneath the surface of your everyday life, like there's movement you can't quite see yet, but you know it's there, you can feel the weight of it, the quiet pull of it. Don't rush past that feeling. Because most people do. They feel something, and instead of staying with it, they explain it away. They call it overthinking. They call it stress. They call it just a mood. But you're still here. Which means some part of you knows. This is different. Stay with me, because this is where everything begins. There are seasons in life that don't announce themselves loudly, they don't come with a warning, they don't send a signal that says, "Get ready, something big is coming." They arrive quietly, behind the scenes, shifting things you didn't even know needed to be shifted, adjusting pieces of your life while you're focused somewhere else entirely. And while that's happening, you just keep moving. You keep showing up. You keep doing what you've always done. But something underneath is no longer the same. And that is exactly where you are right now. Not waiting for something to begin. Already inside it. Let that land. Because most people spend their whole lives waiting for the shift to start, not realizing it already has. Pause. Take a breath. Because this next part changes how you see everything. The life you've been carrying quietly inside you. The version of yourself that you think about late at night, the connection you haven't fully spoken out loud but somehow believe is possible for you. It isn't as far away as it feels. It's closer than you think. Not because you've been lucky. Not because the timing is just right by chance. But because something inside you has been preparing, slowly, steadily, without needing your permission, without waiting for you to feel ready. Because readiness doesn't always feel like confidence. Sometimes it feels like a quiet knowing. A calm settling. A sense that, even though you can't see what's ahead, something in you trusts the direction. That is where you are. And that matters more than you realize. Stay here for a moment, because what I'm about to share with you is something most people never slow down enough to understand. You are not just moving through your life right now. Your life is moving towards something. Towards someone. And that someone is not who you'd expect. And not arriving in the way you've imagined, but arriving nonetheless. Let me explain. There are people in this world who don't chase everything that comes their way, people who have learned, through their own experiences, through their own quiet moments, that not everything deserves their energy. These are people who move carefully. Who listen more than they speak. Who notice what others walk right past. And right now, one of those people has begun to notice you. Not in a loud way. Not in an obvious way. But in the way that matters most. In a way that stays. You know how sometimes a thought comes to you, and you push it aside, and then it comes back again, and you push it aside again, and then it comes back again, and this time it doesn't leave, this time it just settles in and waits. That is what's happening with you inside their mind. Not because you did something dramatic. Not because you made yourself visible. But because something real in you. Something authentic, something that can't be performed or manufactured, found its way into their awareness. And once something real is noticed by someone who values what's real, it doesn't fade. It grows. Pause. And really let that in. Because this is not about being seen by everyone. This is about being seen by the right one. And there is a profound difference. Being noticed by everyone is noise. Being recognized by the right person is a signal. And that signal has already started. Quiet. Steady. Building. Stay till the end, because everything I'm about to share is connected, and if you leave before the final piece, you'll miss why all of this matters so deeply. Now, while their awareness is turning toward you, something equally important is happening within you. Have you felt it? The way your patience is growing, not because you're forcing yourself to be patient, but because things that used to feel urgent just don't pull at you the same way anymore. The way your standards are quietly rising, not because you decided to be selective, but because you're simply no longer interested in what doesn't fit. The way your mind has started moving toward clarity, instead of spinning in circles the way it used to. None of that is accidental. That is transformation happening in real time. And transformation, the kind that actually sticks, doesn't feel like a dramatic overhaul. It feels like this. A slow settling. A quiet becoming. A gentle but undeniable shift in who you are and what you're willing to accept into your life. And here's why that matters in this moment. Because what is meant to reach you, can only reach the version of you that is ready to receive it. And right now, you are becoming that version. Not all the way. Not perfectly. But enough. Enough for something real to find its way in. Pause again. Because I want you to understand something about the person whose attention is turning toward you. They are not reckless with their heart. They have been through enough to know the difference between something that glitters, and something that genuinely shines. They've been disappointed before. They've opened themselves up to things that looked promising, and walked away from things that felt almost right. Because almost right isn't something they're willing to settle for anymore. And that is why, when something actually catches their attention, it means something. It means they've seen past the surface. It means something deeper called to them. And that something is you. Not the polished, edited, performing version of you. The real you. The you that shows up quietly. That holds things thoughtfully. That carries depth that not everyone can see, but this person, they can see it. They can feel it. And they don't quite know what to do with that feeling yet. But they keep returning to it. Keep circling back to it. And that is how it begins. Don't skip this, because this is where the depth of what's happening really becomes clear. There is a timing to all of this that isn't about the calendar. It isn't about how long you've been waiting. It isn't about whether you've been patient enough, or hopeful enough, or deserving enough. The timing is about alignment. And alignment cannot be rushed. Think about two rivers that are moving toward each other, each one following its own path, each one carving its way through its own terrain, not knowing the other exists, not seeing the point where they will meet. But moving. Always moving. And at some point, the geography of their paths brings them together, naturally, inevitably, not because either one tried to find the other, but because the direction they were already moving was always going to lead them here. That is what is happening now. Two paths. Two lives. Moving in their own directions. Carrying their own experiences. Growing through their own quiet seasons. And slowly, without either one fully realizing it yet, moving toward the same point. You are getting closer to that point. Breathe that in. Don't rush it. Don't question it. Just let it be true. Because it is. Stay with me, because there's another layer here that most people miss, and it's the most important one. You have been telling yourself a story. Maybe not out loud. Maybe not even consciously. But somewhere in the back of your mind, there has been a quiet voice that wondered whether something real was still possible for you. Whether the kind of connection you've imagined, the kind that feels steady and safe and genuine and deep, was actually going to find its way to you. Or whether it was something that happened for other people. I need you to hear me clearly on this. That voice is not truth. That voice is fear wearing the mask of logic. And the fact that you're still here, still open, still willing to believe something is possible, even when the evidence felt thin. That is not naivety. That is faith. And faith is not the absence of doubt. It's choosing to stay open anyway. And you have been doing that. Every single day. Even when it was hard. Even when you didn't feel hopeful. Even when things around you seemed to be going in the wrong direction. You stayed open. And that openness is exactly what made room for what is coming. Pause. Let yourself feel the weight of that. Because you have earned this. Not through perfection. Not through having everything figured out. But through persistence. Through resilience. Through the quiet, unglamorous work of continuing to grow even when no one was watching. That work was not wasted. It was building something. And what it was building is now nearly ready to arrive. Stay a little longer, because this next realization is quiet, but it holds more power than anything I've said so far. The moment this person steps more fully into your awareness, and it is coming, it will not feel like what the movies told you it would feel like. It won't be fireworks. It won't be a sudden overwhelming rush. It will feel like recognition. Like finding something you didn't know you were looking for. Like a conversation that flows without effort. Like a silence that doesn't feel awkward but full. Like being understood without having to over-explain yourself. And that feeling. That sense of ease and depth at the same time. That is how you will know. Not because someone told you. Not because a checklist was completed. But because something inside you will become still. The part of you that has been searching will simply stop. And that stillness will feel like coming home. Don't move past this too quickly, because what's about to unfold in your life is not just about one connection, it is about who you are becoming inside that connection. Because the right person doesn't just enter your life and make it better from the outside. They hold up a mirror. And what you see in that mirror is a version of yourself you've always known existed, but maybe never fully believed in before. Steadier than you realized. More capable than you gave yourself credit for. More worthy than the doubts ever allowed you to feel. And that is the gift. Not just the connection itself, but who you become inside of it. Who you are allowed to be. Who you finally stop apologizing for being. Stay with me. Because there's one more thing happening that you need to understand. There are moments in life, small ones, ordinary ones, that look like nothing on the surface. A brief conversation. A moment of eye contact that lasts slightly longer than expected. A text that comes at exactly the right time. A name that appears in your thoughts without a clear reason. These moments feel small. But they are not small. They are the first threads of something that is weaving itself together. And right now, some of those threads are already in motion. You may not have noticed them yet. You may not have connected the dots. But they are there. Moving. Arranging. Preparing for the moment when everything comes together in a way you won't be able to ignore. Pause. And think about the last few weeks of your life. Has something shifted, even slightly? Has someone appeared in your thoughts more than usual? Has a situation that felt stuck started to move, even a little? Has something ended that needed to end, to make space for what is coming? If any of those things are true, then you are already inside the unfolding. And what comes next is the part that makes sense of everything that came before. Don't leave yet, because this is where it all comes together. There is a moment approaching. Not a dramatic one. Not the kind you'd write a movie about. But the kind that you will remember for the rest of your life. Because in that moment, everything that has been quietly building, everything that has been patiently aligning, everything that has been shifting behind the scenes without your awareness, will suddenly become visible. All at once. And you will look at it. And you will feel something you haven't felt in a long time. Maybe something you've never felt quite like this before. A sense that the waiting was worth it. A sense that everything that didn't work out was not failure. It was direction. Every door that closed was pointing you somewhere. Every ending was making room. Every moment of doubt was teaching you how to trust. And now, you are standing at the place all of that was leading to. Stay here. Because this next part is something I need you to carry with you long after this moment ends. Whatever happens next in your life. Whatever comes, however it arrives, however unexpected the form it takes. I need you to remember this. You don't have to force it. You don't have to perform for it. You don't have to shrink yourself to fit into it, or stretch yourself beyond recognition to deserve it. What is meant for you fits. Not perfectly, but genuinely. And genuine is worth infinitely more than perfect. So when it arrives, don't overthink it. Don't talk yourself out of it. Don't let old fears write the story of something new. Just be present. Be open. Be the version of yourself that has been quietly developing through every season that came before this one. Because that version is exactly what this moment has been waiting for. Pause. And feel how close that moment actually is. Not distant. Not someday. Not eventually. Now. This season. This chapter. These days and weeks ahead of you. Something is preparing to step forward. Something real. Something aligned. Something that will not feel like luck when it arrives, but like recognition. Like something you have always known was possible. Finally choosing to become real. And you are ready. Not because everything in your life is perfect. Not because you've healed from everything. Not because you have it all figured out. But because you are open. And open is enough. So slow down. Stop rushing toward the next thing. Stop trying to predict how this unfolds. Stop looking so hard that you miss what's already here. Just breathe. Just trust. Just stay present inside this quiet season. Because what is coming does not need to be chased. It is already on its way. And when it arrives, you will know. Not with your mind. With something deeper. Something that has been waiting quietly inside you. For exactly this. For exactly now. For exactly what is already beginning. The shift has started. The alignment is in motion. The recognition is forming. And somewhere out there, in the same ordinary world you are moving through every day, something is turning toward you. Something real. Something patient. Something that has been waiting just as long as you have. And it is getting closer. Step by step. Moment by moment. Day by day. Until the day comes. And it will come. When what has been happening behind the scenes finally steps into the light. And everything you've been sensing. Everything you've been feeling but couldn't explain. Will suddenly make complete and perfect sense. Hold on to that. Because that day is not as far away as it feels. And you are more ready for it than you know.